Welcome to Terrortown Talk with Coach Rock Hidalgo. I'm your host, Dan Meyers. Really excited you guys are here this week. First off, we need to give a thank you to our sponsors. Pyromics out there, making it go boom. And Live Oak Agency over there on St. Simons. Phil's a good dude most days. We appreciate you guys for sponsorship. Coach Rock, how we doing today, bud?
I just realized I forgot to spit my gum out. So we've started, and I have gum in my mouth. But so other than that, I'm okay. Ready to kind of get after it today.
Recap last week, Effingham. How
just really, we played really hard on defense. Really frustrating game. Struggling on offense. I mean, we really are struggling to make plays. We just got to do a better job of execution. We can't string 2 or 3 plays together. We don't have the ability to drive the football, and that's frustrating. And we've got to go to work and get better with it.
Yeah, I saw a couple good punts this past week though. Right? Down one at the 1 yard line.
Cody, obviously. Cody Arnold, I almost called him Cody Allen. Cody Arnold, I used to coach at Cody Allen. Cody Arnold, really talented kid. He's just a junior, so he'll be back next year as kicker and punter and a big leg. He's does a dead drop punt, and that ball kind of goes down there and just dies down there. He's been very effective with it this year. Yeah.
Fantastic. You spoke about the defense playing fierce, and throughout region play, they've been playing really good. Who's our highlight player from the week?
Defensively, I would say probably Drayshawn Stevens, who had a great game, really flying around over there. That's probably, if I'm going to name defensive player of the game, that's probably who it would be. He's a kid he's a senior, means a lot to him, and he made a lot of plays, ton of plays.
I know we struggled a little on offense. What are we building on from last week? What can we bring forward?
I think the big thing is obviously Greg Peacock's making a lot of plays for us. That's one thing we can focus on. The other side of it is we're just inconsistent. What's frustrating is we run, let's say, boot, which is a naked boot play action pass. We ran it 14 times at practice last week. Ran it correctly every time. Run it the game Friday, and we have 2 guys do the wrong thing, and both in protection, the quarterback ends up getting sacked, and we end up losing an opportunity for a big play. I think just having a little better focus, just play to play, and just so we understand where we're supposed to go. We've struggled with that all year long, and it's one of those things that we battled. I don't think the kids are purposely submarining the program. We've just got to find a way to kind of get through that and hopefully get some better performance out of those guys.
Thank you, Coach. We're going to pause for a message from our sponsors.
Hello, Red Terror fans. This is Coach Rock, head coach of the Glen Academy Red Terrors. In my business, there's no better way to ensure victory than having a great game plan and being focused on the details. Phil Setzer of the Live Oak Agency on St. Simons Island brings the same attention to your insurance needs as the Red Terror staff brings to winning on Friday nights. A locally owned boutique agency, the Live Oak Agency carefully selects its carriers in order to provide you with the best level of service, price, and coverage available. From the basics like home, auto, and boat insurance to your farming, business, or commercial needs, the Live Oak Agency can ensure your interest regardless of the circumstances. Come visit Phil and his staff at 1700 Frederica Road, Suite 202 on St. Simons Island, or give him a call at 912-434-4220. Live Oak Agency, a proud sponsor of Glen Academy football. Go Terrors.
Welcome back, guys. Thank you to our sponsors. Couldn't do this without you guys. This week we've got Richmond Hill coming up.
Yep, always been a big game with Richmond Hill. Usually play for the region championship. Won't be the case this year, but that's been a big game. Probably the last 4 or 5 years that game has settled the region championship. Matt Lazat, their head coach, does a great job coaching their kids. They've got a lot of talent, young talent. This year, and they've been inconsistent a lot like us because of that. So I think they've had some games where they've imploded, and they've had some games where they played very well. So we can't leave it in their hands. We've got to show up and play ball.
What can we expect to see out of them on the offensive side of the ball?
They're I wouldn't say necessarily pro style, but in a lot of ways they are. They run a lot of RPO stuff. Out of their run game, so they'll try to read the flat defender, and if he tries to reset in the box to tackle the running back, they'll pitch it out there to a guy and sit him down with what we call a latch play. They'll get in some 21 personnel, which 21 personnel is 2 running backs and 1 tight end, and run a lot of traditional run game, power, inside zone, counter, stuff like that. So we're going to see a lot of those things. We've got a big offensive line. We've got to play well on the line of scrimmage. The quarterback's pretty talented. They've got some skill on the perimeter. They're going to throw the ball downtown. They like to throw the back shoulder fade. They like to throw the comeback on the sidelines. We're going to have to play our tails off and get ready for those things.
So you know how to defend the counter. Florida might be giving you a call.
Oh man, we'll see. It was an interesting game. You talk about the Gators and LSU, because Florida didn't want to. I think Florida was so concerned with the RPO game, they didn't want to put a seventh guy in the box and set another guy in the box, and LSU just handed the counter off over and over and over again. And I thought it was interesting. I thought Florida would adjust to it. They did, and I saw LSU picked up some 3rd and 15 calls. Didn't help save Coach O's job, which is interesting. You go beat Florida in a big game, you get fired the next day. But it's a crazy world that coaches live in.
Yeah, at least for the Florida fans out there, Florida kept their shoes on this year.
They did. Didn't help them.
Didn't help much.
Didn't help them.
All right, back to high school. We had to get that in there. We actually watched the game together this past weekend. It was a good time. So Richmond Hill, we got them freshman and JV this year. Are we able to put both games together? We merging the games?
We're merging the games Thursday. We're playing at Glenn Middle School, and it's the last couple of years have been crazy with 9th grade and JV, and I like to play both, but I think the things that we run into with that is numbers are down for people because of that COVID year, and they're especially on the JV level, and coaches are struggling putting together 2 teams for that. If I could go back in time and redo the year, I would probably change how I did my JV in 9th grade this year, but I don't have that option. I try to keep my 9th graders together and let them play together as a group, and we're thin on the JV level. We just don't have a lot of linemen, so it's hard for us to field a team, and I think other people are running that same issues. When you talk to coaches, they don't have as many kids in the JV and 9th grade, or the JV and the sophomore junior class. So they're struggling with putting together a JV team, and so they're having to bring up those 9th graders. And I think a lot of that is because that COVID year, we had a lot of kids that just sat around and just didn't want to come back and be involved with things.
Trying to get them back in shape and back into the program is always tough.
Yep.
Easier to keep one in than bring them back.
No doubt.
So you said that is Thursday at Glen Middle. Here.
Yes, sir.
We're
5
hosting
o'clock.
5 o'clock at Glen Middle. Make sure you come out. It's a great facility out there. The baseball boys will be doing 4-on-1, so we'll have sports going on all over the place. Good time. What are we going to see out of our offense this week? We making any tweaks? Changes?
We don't have the capacity to make any changes or adjustments or anything like that. And so, and I say that, I know we're struggling to run the plays that we've had all year long. So we've got to continue to run those plays. You can't change. It's hard in a situation that we're in to say, hey, we're going to run a whole new offense, a whole new passing game. We're going to put new run plays in. We're really struggling to block plays. We've been blocking since August 1st. And so, new plays, different plays, that's not going to be the answer. We're trying to improve on those plays, and it's not about ability. It's about execution. And so we're trying to get our kids to really let's put 10 good plays together. Let's run 10 great plays together and get out of here and go score a touchdown and get off the field. And so that's our goal this week, and try to get better at being us.
As coaches, do you guys script out the first series?
Sometimes you do, and sometimes you don't. It depends on, a lot of times when people script out those plays, a lot of times they want to see how people are going to choose to align. And so they see the alignment and they can call the rest of the plays. And, guys will script plays off, but sometimes because of down and distance, you get off that script. Sometimes we do script plays just because we want to see early what people how they're going to align to us. Sometimes we don't. How many plays we script. Sometimes it might be 3 or 4, sometimes it might be 10. It all varies on game to game, and some guys don't vary their alignments very much. So how they're going to line up. There's no reason to script a bunch of plays, and other guys have we're going to vary their alignment a ton depending on what you give them.
Appreciate that, Coach. Scout team player last week?
The one guy's been doing really well for us. All year long for us. Bruce Edwards has been playing safety and wide receiver for us. I would say he's a kid that I think he's got a bright future here at Glen Academy. He's a hard worker, really nice kid, and that's who I would say was our scout team player of the week last week.
Appreciate that, Bruce. Thanks for putting in the work. How was practice yesterday? Kids bring the tempo?
It was good. It was good. We got to flush Friday night's game and get the stink off of you a little bit. Kids went out there. I think they had a good attitude, trying to just build on it and get some momentum. The big thing is getting our kids to compete at practice. I mean, you got to have game speed reps. If you don't get game speed reps, and not only does that come from the varsity kids, that comes from the scout team kids. And, one of the issues that we have right now is we don't have a lot of depth on the line of scrimmage in those sophomore, junior classes. And so getting kids, so a lot of times we're playing some younger kids on our scout teams against our varsity kids. And they just don't understand the level at which they got to compete. So the look's not very good. There's a lot of things that have gone into that. But the biggest thing is just trying to get our kids to play at game speed.
I can certainly appreciate that.
Yep.
I'm an old Florida boy, country bumpkin. How do regions work here in Georgia? Because you got Richmond Hill with 2,500 students and Glen Academy with 1,900. How are we in the same region?
It all, they do it off the FTE numbers, that we come out in October. I think they're going to come out here pretty soon, and we'll figure out where we're going to be for next year. But you have those FTE numbers, and it's based on how many schools are going to put in 7A, how many schools are going to put in 6A. And so wherever they draw that arbitrary line, it's at 45, it's at 70. It used to be about 70 schools in 7A. It all depends on where they decide that line's going to be, and they cram those guys up and below. And sometimes you have teams like Richmond Hill who were given an isolation exemption or play down in 6A, and Camden County, who's just as isolated, had to play up. So, there's some guys sitting in a room somewhere making those decisions. It's all above my head. There's reasons they do it. I don't know exactly why. I don't have an explanation for all of it. Sometimes it makes sense, and sometimes it doesn't make sense for me.
All right. Thanks for clearing that up for me. We're going to pause for a message from our sponsors.
This is Coach Rocky Hidalgo of the Glen Academy Red Terrors. When a whistle and a booming voice isn't quite enough, I turn to Pyromic to put on a show. From wedding sparklers to black cats to the Super Shell mortar, the largest reloadable mortar that you can purchase without the ATF coming to kick down your door, Pyromic has that special something that will fit in anyone's budget. For birthdays, anniversaries, corporate events, holidays, or gender reveal parties, Pyromic can help create a lasting memory for all your attendees at a great price. Or maybe you just want to be that guy and light off the Excalibur at 11 o'clock on a Tuesday night. Mike can help with that too. Come out and visit Pyromic on Highway 341 across from the Tractor Supply Company. Go Terrors.
Welcome back, guys. Coach?
So what we got, football season for us, nearing the playoffs. But you are our new girls or women's flag football coach here at Glen Academy, correct?
Yes, sir. So really excited. It's a new GHSA state championship sport. It was a state championship sport last year. We're getting in a second year. Started up in Atlanta with a few schools. The Falcons are really helping fund this. They're trying to get more women involved in the sport, more girls involved in high school athletics. So started in Atlanta, grew to the metro Atlanta area a couple of years ago. Last year went statewide. So our season officially, we've been practicing for a month now, exactly a month actually, and first game is a week from Thursday, 28th.
So who you playing on your first game?
We've got McIntosh County and Island. So one of the neat differences between traditional football and flag football is every game day you play a doubleheader. So it's a jamboree style with 3 teams. Everybody plays each other. Quick pace game, hour-long game, 2 20-minute halves with a running clock. Clock stops the last minute of the half, 5-minute halftime, in and out in less than an hour. It's I kind of been relating it to it's almost like basketball with a few breaks in between the plays.
So how many girls are on the field for each team at one time?
So it's a 7-on-7 sport. Another difference between traditional football and flag football is everyone's eligible. Mm-hmm. No down linemen, nobody's stuck to the line, no one has to be covered. The only person that has to line up on the line is your center. So it gives us a lot of flexibility, a lot of fun. But yeah, 7-on-7 at a time. We've got about 35 girls in the program. Got a really big freshman class, which is exciting. Something we can build for the future. Got some really dedicated seniors and juniors that realize they're laying the foundation, and we're going to build off of that.
So do you have a varsity or JV, or do you envision having a varsity JV eventually down the line?
The hope is we'll grow into that. Yeah. Right now we're all practicing together. We've got 3 coaches on staff, Coach Lewis, Coach Addison, and myself. And so So just trying to work with them. That's again, this isn't a traditional sport that these girls have grown up playing travel ball or anything like that. So we spend a lot of time in the classroom explaining the fundamentals of football. We come out and watch you guys practice, and we talk about what, when we went over the route tree, we came out and the girls had to identify what routes your wide receivers were running, why they were running that. Was there, press coverage? Were they dropping off into a zone? What are we doing?
So, like, defensively, are you going to be a zone team, man team? Can you blitz the quarterback? I mean, what are the rules?
So you can blitz the quarterback.
Mississippi's?
No Mississippi's. You can blitz the quarterback, but with everybody being eligible, it's that him and that haw. If you bring somebody, you're gonna leave somebody open.
Right.
And so we're gonna probably play some quarters with some zone ideas underneath.
Right.
Just with the athletes that are playing the sport, you don't have to cover deep downfield.
Right.
So we're probably gonna drop back, try to keep everything in front. The first downs are 20-yard zones.
Okay.
Wherever you get the ball into that zone, you've got 4 plays to advance it to the next zone. So you can play a little bit deeper, softer coverage. Try to keep everything in front of you is what we're going to look at. We do got some athletes that can run, so I may, if we can identify that. There's not a lot of game film out there yet, but if we can identify in game that one athlete that we need to go man to man on, and we've got the athletes that can run with them, we'll switch over to man to man.
So you're going to be throwing the ball. Not so much gun triple option? No triple option?
Actually, our offense is going to be quick, fast pace. I'm a UCF fan, man. I got the Heupel influence, the Mike Leach tree, right? And so we are going to have some option ideals running through. One of the other rules is a fumble is a dead ball. Mm-hmm. Only turnovers are interceptions.
Gotcha.
So we can lateral. We can run a lot of trick plays, if you will. So we can go really quick, really fast. We'll have a lot of, like I said, option ideas, but our option point won't necessarily be at the quarterback spot. That mesh point might be a wide receiver out on the side.
Cool. So your, again, first game is when and where?
October 28th at McIntosh at 6 o'clock. We'll play at 6 and at 7. Come back, eat some dinner, and come back and come back to school, hopefully with a couple victories under our belt. Be a lot of fun. Hope you guys will come out and support us. We will be playing Brunswick High School Glen Academy game November 16th at the stadium.
Cool.
So that's our big home game. With us being a brand new program, both us and Brunswick High are spending a lot of time on the road.
Yeah.
Just the other schools got all the facilities and set up. We're playing a lot of schools out of Savannah that have lacrosse fields, and those are a little bit. Our field's only 33 yards wide, so from far hash mark to sideline, 80-yard. Playing field, so the lacrosse fields work a little bit better for our needs, but we'll be playing. Not quite sure. We've got another home game the week before Brunswick High. Not sure if that's going to be at Lanier Field or Glen Middle yet. Kind of just working around everyone else's schedule.
Cool. Awesome. Well, good luck with it, Coach.
I appreciate it.
Yep.
Have a great one, guys. This is Dan Meyers with Terrytown Top with Coach Rocky Hidalgo, and we'll see you guys next week.